the family as image is hugely important to convey what we expect, as Sam's saying about from what the role that a stereotype plays, as well as ordering complexity, is to give us hints about what to expect about. It's like a map, what to expect from the social world that we live in. So if you go into a different country, you take a map with you. If you go into the past, for example, as we're about to do, these images provide us with an insight into what families used to be like, as opposed to what they're like now. Now, again, the family is as ideologically important in these pictures as it was in the one we just were discussing. But these are lithographs from the second half of the 19th century. And so I want you to think a little bit more also about, or talk a bit more about, what about these images and why you think I've put this up here. I just thought we could have put two up for 21st century as well, couldn't we? So what's happening in the picture on the right? This is a family in the late 19th century. Who can you see there? What can you see there? Sorry?
There's more children.
Oh, okay, so there are 3 children, yes.
You see, like, I'm trying to think of the word, Lemon keeps going to my mind, but I know it's not that one. But in the background, you've got that guy who looks like he's old, he's really ill. It's like one generation and the last generation, so 3 generations in one house, and the word is just not in my head. I'm sorry.
The word, yes.
The word,
extended?
I just can't think of it.
I don't know. Well, I'm sure, but you've identified, yes, because here you have, this is a completely different set of image, it's conveying very different message than the one we just looked at, isn't it? And here, this is from the Wellcome Museum of Medical History. So there's a purpose in this image, and I'd imagine, given where it comes from, that the purpose of this sketch, pre-photography, was to convey something about the living conditions of families.
So
Yes.
if you compare it to the one on the left,
Yeah.
because you're saying that they're both coming from like the second half of the 19th century,
Yeah.
you can tell like the financial status of both things, and you see the left side where they're just sitting there with an amazing life, but on the right, it's more to me it's saying to them family is what matters because they've got nothing but they've got each other.
Oh, okay, yes. Well, I'm sure that was the case, and they've got very little. You can see how little they have, the sparse furniture. There's a big Bible on, which is probably the only book any family. This is not the poorest of the poor family. This is a family that's really trying. You know, they have a house, and
they
they're
don't have
really,
servants though.
and they're trying. They've got little books next to their kids, so their kids are trying to learn to read and write. I think the child has got shoes on, which wasn't common. If you were very poor, you probably wouldn't have had shoes. They're looking after an elderly, probably a father of one of them. And this guy's sort of respectable and trying, but clearly they have very little income. And someone pointed out there are 3 children who are very close together. I would have thought, unless they probably would have lost some children, that they would have had actually more children than that. But maybe they hadn't been married all that long. The picture on the left, same period of history, but different class. As someone put out, different socio-economic class. Now this has got a family which is by comparison affluent, comfortable, servants to look after them, plenty of sort of things which are just luxuries, books, curtains, drapes, paintings, open fireplace, plenty of food on the table, and so on. Very different contrast. And if we look at the family historically, we can sort of get more of an insight into how close the relationship was and remains between how the family appears and how it lives and what the social and economic circumstances. So this is something we also take for granted. Although politicians are very quick to use it, and you'll hear it already in the election campaign as it begins. We take for granted we're told that our personal and financial situations are largely our own making. That, it doesn't really, what we spend our money on is our private business and so on and so on. But that's not strictly true. First of all, you've got to have money to spend it on, and that's the condition of this family wouldn't be their choice. It would be because they had to, their social situation made it impossible for them to earn any more money than they do. And this family, of course, similarly. So the class differences in families have always been and remain, and are linked primarily to the social and economic circumstances of the society.